Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. As you can see, Winston is out of pocket today, so I'll be your host, Stan Kirkland. I'll be your host today, and we've got also a co-host that I'll introduce in just a minute. The weather is brought to us today by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard. Go see Drew for your air conditioning needs. The high today is 89 degrees. The low is, this morning, we've already reached it, was 75. The water temperature is climbing. Out at the pier, it's 82 degrees, it'll be 82 degrees today. The wind, it's going to be calm early in the morning, but like it is this summertime pattern, wind is going to be picking up, be west, southwest, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. River readings are brought to us by the good folks at Mountain Dew. See them for all of your drink needs. Apalachicola River at Bluntstown is 4.6 feet. It's declining slightly. Choctawhatchee River at Caryville is 6 feet and declining. The tides are brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn and Funeral Home. We've already reached our low tide this morning in Bay County. It was at 1:55 a.m. The high today will be just after noon at 12:15 p.m. In Gulf County, and I love to wade fish in Gulf County, let me say that. The low was at 4:26 this morning. Again, we've already reached that. The high will be today at 1:45. That's 1:45 Eastern, which would be 12:45 if you're on this side of the line there. So anyway, with that, we're going to take our first break. You come back and be with us. Well, welcome back. Thanks for being with us. As you can see on my left, which I guess would be your right, is Ken Parramore.
Good morning. Good morning. Glad to be here.
Ken's been on before. Ken and I worked together, obviously, for many years. I don't even remember how many years, but we worked together for a long time with FWC. Ken and I were hosting the show, I guess it was about a year ago, and one of Winston's astute viewers called and told me that when Ken and I are on there, they've issued a silver alert for two old people that have escaped the home and are here.
Might be some truth to that.
And so Kurt Perry, thanks for that. Anyway, I had to have a laugh over that. Ken, what's going on with you? You have a decent turkey season, or one you want to forget?
One I want to forget.
Yeah, that happened.
It's just one of them things. You never could put it together. I went almost every day, except for days that had bad weather, or, a conflict or whatever. But played with a few of them, but just never could quite put it together. So it was very disappointing for me. And all we have to do is look forward to next year.
I agree. I was fortunate enough I took my son-in-law, Jamie Marley. Jamie killed a real nice bird. It wasn't opening day. It was the day after. We didn't go opening day, but he killed a nice bird. And I got an invitation. Well, I got a drawn for an egglet hunt permit. And the first day over there, the 2-day hunt, didn't do anything. The second day, there were birds gobbling everywhere. Don't ask me to explain it. And then I had a bird at probably 80 to 100 yards that hung up, and I was ready to throw my gun at him because he would not come in. The woods were too open. You couldn't move. If you ever turkey hunted, you know that they've got unbelievable eyesight and hearing. They can't smell, but they've got eyesight and, well, I guess they can smell, but they've got eyesight and hearing that are unmatched. And so I couldn't move, and eventually the bird lost interest and left me sitting there. So anyway,
I know that.
But I did kill one bird, but anyway. So Kim, what is going on? I notice some things are going on in other states, and I I don't have a lot of details on them. I know one state, I think it's Mississippi, when it comes to turkey hunting, they have decided to not allow, I believe it's Mississippi, non-residents the first 10 days, I believe. Tennessee's now, they've done some things apparently. I don't know if you've seen that.
But a lot of states are doing a complete overview of their turkey rules and regulations due to the population declines. And in the Southeast...
Turkey population declines, right.
In the Southeast particularly, the populations are down. And everybody's got their own reason as to why they're down.
Right.
Habitat loss, predators, over hunting. A lot of states had liberal bag limits, and the turkey hunting population has increased by leaps and bounds. So I'm talking about the human population.
Right.
More people hunt turkeys now than ever have, which is more pressure on the birds.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of combination of things, regardless of what a lot of people say. There's another push that feels that that increased turkey hunting population is also using methods that are
not fair.
Not fair, if you want to, use that term. A lot of people are spending like all day in a blind with decoys in front of them and just sit and wait. And but then there's others that think you should just go there and call and sit and the blinds are the concealment that.
And the using the tail fans has now come up.
And decoys in some places.
Yep.
Decoys are under scrutiny by some of the hunting public. So.
And Tennessee has they've delayed their season 2 weeks. They're not the only state that's done this. They're delaying their season. In Tennessee, which is close by, we don't have a lot of people probably travel up there, but they've also outlawed using tail fans anytime on public lands.
And they lost bag limits.
Yep.
Or they reduced bag limits. I think Alabama reduced bag limits last year or year before.
Yeah, a lot of these states are going to very restrictive things. We've been very, very fortunate here in Florida. I really want to say that our turkey population has got to be at least stable, and maybe it is declining, but it looks like
it's declined.
Yeah.
And we have a new reporting system coming next year.
Good. Hey, good. I want to hear about that. Listen, we're approaching our first break, so you come back and be with us, and we'll be back in just a second. Well, welcome back. Thanks for being back with us. Ken, we were talking about turkey season, and I don't want to belabor the point, but there's a new reporting system that's going to be coming up, I think,
Florida
this year?
Florida, it's
for
been approved.
turkeys.
It's been approved by the commission and announced, and we are going to a turkey reporting system identical to the deer reporting system that we have.
So no tags.
No tags.
But you still have to report them.
Yep, and it's going to be effective this fall season. So,
wow, good deal.
And to get back to the reporting, a lot of people think that, and maybe rightfully so, that the reporting is to get something on the person. Rather, the purpose of the reporting is for
gathering data.
For my entire career, we didn't count nothing.
Right.
We didn't count deer. We didn't count turkeys.
No.
And so when it comes to, well, how do you know what your population is? There's no reporting of harvest, so you don't even know what you harvested. So we're way behind a lot of states that have had reporting for, years. And now turkeys just come along with it to give us an idea of the harvest and how to manage the population better.
And with deer, it's about as easy as it gets. Turkey's going to be the same way. I take it, you got an app you can use, you can call it in, you can report it later you can do it online. With deer, I think you've got up to 24 hours, and my guess is that turkeys probably would be similar. I don't know exactly, so maybe we need to get somebody on to, or Winston might want to get somebody on to talk about that. But anyway, so that's a good move. Ken, going forward, our turkey banquet, our fundraiser for the NWTF is coming up, and And assuming COVID doesn't rear its ugly head.
Hopefully a third time will be a charm. 'Cause we've had to cancel 2 years in a row. So,
last year was a disaster.
It was a disaster.
And anyway, for a lot of respects. But anyway, so we're coming up with that. That's set for August the 19th.
Yep, same time, same place. We've got some work to do between now and then.
We sure do.
But we're looking forward to it, and hopefully we can pick back up where we left off, which we were going to have a banner one last year.
We had everything done basically last year. We had sold all our tables. We had sponsors. We had everything done, and then COVID was on this
tick
spiraling trajectory, and we had no choice but to.
I canceled it 2 days before it was to begin.
And anyway, so but that's anyway. So that is coming up August the 19th at Panama City First United Methodist Church. Great people down there to work with. They've been tremendous, and I can't thank Brian Scarborough and others that the church that we work with. Our chef down there, they've got a good meal. We make sure and take care of people when they come. So
speaking of banquets, Holmes County had their banquet already. This
did?
Spring, I went to it. Had a great banquet. Walton County is going to be having theirs in DeFuniak, July 23rd, if anyone's interested. I've been to their banquet before, and it's a pretty good time. It's at a barbecue restaurant there in DeFuniak. I forget the name of it, but anyway, theirs is upcoming. I want to give a little bit of information about our calendar sales and an overview. I know people have asked me and sent me messages, have they won, or I went to a state board meeting 2 weeks ago, and I found out we sold a little over 700 calendars.
Wow.
Statewide. So we didn't sell our 1,000. So as of 2 weeks ago, before these last 2 weekly drawings, there was 21 drawings and there was 7 winners. So it was operating about a third. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, out of the amount of drawings, there's only was 7 winners. I think the last 2 weeks so we're probably up to 9 out of probably 23 of total drawings. Right. So all those, either those weren't sold, those were the ones that weren't sold, or they weren't in the sequence. So out of those non-winners, we will have those extra guns for later drawings or next year.
Okay.
So we haven't lost anything, but we needed about 500 sold to break even because we bought all those guns up front. So the guns are paid for, but we're not going to see the profit that
and that's a fundraiser for NWTF, for the National Wild Turkey Federation.
State chapter.
Right. For the state chapter. And, we don't make money from those. It's passed through. So anyway.
One more thing about turkeys.
Okay.
NWTF is 50 years old in 23.
Wow.
And they're a year out planning for the 50th convention. Wow. in Nashville.
Wow.
So if you haven't ever been to a NWTF convention,
right,
this 50th one would probably be one that you would want to go to.
I'll tell you one quick thing about NWTF. In 1973, I went to Auburn University and majored in wildlife management. My major professor there was a guy named Dr. James Earl Kennemer, and in fact, his father was still alive. I don't know if you know his name.
Oh, yeah.
But Dr. Kennemer, later, after I graduated Auburn, left and went and became the field biologist for, and I'm slaughtering his exact title, but he became the principal biologist for the National Wild Turkey Federation. And I talked to him a couple of times in the interim, since then. And anyway, so that was a great move for him.
And even with COVID this past winter, which is, the last banquet was in February, they set some records with attendance then because it's been 2 years, without. So this 50th one, with the planning that I'm hearing about that's going on already,
right,
is going to be a good one in Nashville. So.
Good deal, good deal. And I have to admit, I have not been to the conference in Nashville. I know you and others have been, but apparently it's quite a show to see how they do everything, and they have events ongoing constantly. And being the 50th, it'll be special. Mm-hmm. It'll be very special. Ken, I don't think we've got time to get into our next segment, but when we come back, can you talk briefly about snapper season upcoming?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's take
Absolutely.
a break right now. Thank you. Well, welcome back to the show. Ken, talking about different things, fishing and hunting and all. The red snapper season is approaching, right? And that is for recreational anglers that want to go.
Yeah, it's open now, for federal permitted charter vessels.
Right.
And by looking at Facebook here it opened on the 1st for them.
Yep. These are federally permitted, and they have to have a special permit to go. So if you're a recreational person,
they have to go to federal waters.
Right. No state waters.
Well, Facebook is flooded with pictures, and they have been really working on the red snapper.
Well, hopefully there'll be red snapper left when...
Beautiful pictures.
Right.
Billy Archer's, I've seen his posts, Harris Scruggs. Everybody's been working on them. So
now you fish for red snapper. How far out do you have to go to federal waters to typically catch fish, or you catch them in state waters?
I see these boats are going. Some of them are. I saw they were in 200 foot of water, 180 foot of water, which is probably 40
miles.
Yeah, these charter boats. A lot of them are going there. Inshore, they'll get fish pretty quick.
So get picked over.
Now with $5 plus a gallon gasoline, you may be forced to stay closer to shore than maybe a couple years ago. Right. The past couple years, I have gone southwest.
You don't have to tell where you go, but anyway.
And it's about a 15-mile run. You're not 15 miles offshore when you get there.
How deep of water do you typically fish?
100, 80 to 100.
How much weight does it take to get it down at that?
I use 6s or 8 ounces maybe.
Okay.
Some days you can get by with 4 or 5, but it depends on current and where you're at. But the further you can go, if you have spots, the better off you kind of are.
Right.
Because all the public numbers and the close numbers get fished, But you can do pretty well on them. I've done well on them. Some stuff you just stumble over and you turn around and go back and try to let's see what's there.
Yeah, see if we can get a fish off of there.
And sometimes you don't. Last year, I had places the year before I really did good, and I went to last year and couldn't get a keeper fish. It just depends. But it's June 17, which is Friday, a week from this Friday. So that's when we'll be able to go and keep red snapper.
Has the season expanded any this year, red snapper, the number of days, or is it pretty much the same?
I think it was about the last couple of years, but they're talking about a possible fall season, which will make it a little longer if they do.
Okay, all right.
So, but it was about the same, if I remember right. I think finally that we're trying to stay consistent with opening dates and number of days. And of course, it's a big draw for this area, and the whole Gulf Coast here is those red snapper.
And they'll be, if you get on any of our major roads or arteries coming into Bay County, and it's not just Bay County, it's all on the coast. You see boats coming in, people coming in from not only Florida, but other states as well to take advantage of it.
You ought to see the boat ramps.
No.
I went by a Saturday ago, and the downtown ramp, and they were lined up waiting to put in.
Well, the Porter ramp in Lynn Haven was a zoo. I went up there Saturday, even before the season, the snapper, and it was just, there's no place to park. People are pulling out. I mean, on people's yards, it's incredible.
It's really difficult, and I've almost quit fishing weekends because of the ramp.
I don't blame
the
you.
Issues at the ramp. If I had a boat in the water or on the water, but I've pretty much stuck to weekdays.
Let me go ahead and get into the game and fish forecast. It's brought to us by the folks at Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. If you've never stopped there, you need to go by and visit them. They're one of the sponsors for the show. But they have a variety of things, particularly if you like to scallop. They have your nets, your bags, snorkels, masks, anything you need. So that place, you can get your license there. The best times to fish, optimum times are 6:37 to 8:37 today, and 7 to 9 tonight. I don't know how many people that'll be fishing at night, but those are the best times. So, Ken, I wanna thank you for being here today. Again, Ken and I are filling in for Winston. He's out of the area. We mentioned some things. One thing I did want to mention: there is a redfish workshop coming up at Gulf Coast State College on June the 13th. That's from 6 to 8 at night. It's going to be it's called the Sarzan Hall, I believe, S-A-R-Z-A-N, Sarzan Hall. I don't know where that is. I got to find it. But they're going to be talking about redfish management going into the future. So if you like to redfish, and I love to catch redfish, flounder, and trout. I'm a nearshore fisherman, love to wade. That's a good time to go, and you'll get a chance to see what the management plans are for the future. They'll be presented by FWC, and I'm sure they'll be asking for comment. So with that,
we gotta go.
Thanks, folks, and we'll see you.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.